All right, guys, welcome to the podcast. It's going to be me, Rainer, Silver Productions, um, Unforgiven, and Braylon. And we'll be talking about certain subjects. It's going to be mostly free flowing, but let's start by introducing each and every person. Rainer, would you like to introduce?
Yeah, I'm Rainer and Rainer actually, and I mostly do videos on drop rates and Hunter Ranger. I main a Hunter Ranger, and I'm also very active in making overviews, especially the master crafting stuff.
Thank you very much, Rainer. Rachel, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I actually changed my YouTube username to Silvery a couple days ago, as just to match my username on the other platforms. But what I mainly do is I make videos based on the updates of Neverwinter, so like general overviews of class changes, patch notes, and like even more general stuff. Like I plan on doing actual mod overviews at some point, but and also some guides as well. And I've been playing Neverwinter since 2014, I think. So a long time.
So a long time. Thank you very much, Silvery. Unforgiven, your turn, buddy. Introduce yourself.
Hi guys, thank you Galactic for bringing us out. I'm Unforgiven, owner of the Northside channel. I usually main GWF or Barbarian, yeah, well, and I do general info beside the class, and yeah, that's about it. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And I'm, as all you all know that are here probably do know me, I'm Galactic Underwear. I've been playing since beta, on and off. Obviously, not always playing the game with long, huge breaks in between. But my main goal is to make Neverwinter a better game. I mostly focus on TR content because I suck at every other class. As you all know, if you saw my DC leveling, I'm a sunburst kind of DC, so I do suck balls. I apologize for that.
It's okay. We know you suck.
But yeah, so that's me. Basically, that's what I do. So let's get right into this podcast. And I'm going to ask the very first question, which will be more generalized. This is not going to be constructed as much. We're going to try to do this more free flowing. Any member of this podcast can bring up a subject and we'll discuss that subject. Opinions will not be all the same, obviously. We're going to feel, other people are going to feel strongly about one subject, and one might disagree with the other. It doesn't really matter. So the first question I'm going to ask everybody, and this includes myself, is in general, up to this point, right? Because the mod is not finished being patched or fixed in any way. Are you happy with the direction the game is going?
Who's gonna start? Rainer,
Anybody?
take the.
Me?
Yeah, you're the
Okay.
oldest. Go on.
Yeah, sure. For me, the direction is something else. Is where the game is standing right now. I think the direction is okay for me. So it's going in a direction that we do less damage. We run less fast through dungeons, and I hope at some point they will also increase the rewards that are connected to the dungeons and stuff. So I think in that sense it's going in the right direction. Are we at the good spot right now? No, there are too many bugs at the moment. Lots of stuff is broken. Lots of stuff that is already reported a long time ago, weeks before the game went to preview, and it's still not fixed, which is very sad actually. Um, but yeah, that's not really what the question was.
All right.
You can say anything you want, my friend. That's not an issue. Anybody else?
All right, I'll go. Okay, I'm gonna try to sum this up as I'm not gonna say it's going okay or not. I want to see the finished fucking product. That's it. You know, in general, yeah, let's agree it's okay. All right, it's a good idea, badly implemented for now. They need to do a lot of work. This should not even, my personal opinion, this shouldn't even go live on preview yet.
Oh, it
But that's
shouldn't
just
even been on the preview server,
yeah.
in my
My
opinion.
opinion is they should have kept it to the private playtesting for a while
Exactly.
longer.
And I believed honestly, I'm gonna try to keep this one short. They just I don't think they thought this through, and I already said this before, and I think they didn't really chew this to the bone, and I think they're underpowered in a sense of manpower. And now we got this great communication between the developers, and as I see, it's a great thing. With I mean, just look at the amount of posts on the forums. but I see that as a kind of a panic because this is so much. And somebody put this on just on developer shoulders to say you got to do this, because I still think this is some kind of financial decision. That's what I think. But we'll see how will this go. That's all from me for now.
Rachel, what do you think?
To piggyback on what I was saying about it should have stayed on the playtesting longer. I think that they're being more active in the community because the players seeing this unfinished product on preview, this absolutely completely unpolished product, freaked a lot of people out. And so they're trying to mitigate that because I personally think they made a mistake by releasing it this early. So I think they're just trying to calm people down, and that's obvious if you look at their posts. They're all just like, yeah, thanks for the feedback. We see what you're doing. We're going to make some changes. Stay tuned. That's pretty much what all of the feedback is. What was the original question? Well, my opinion of Mod 16. Okay.
Yeah, in general.
Okay.
Up to this point, obviously, because we still have more changes to come. Yeah.
Okay, so in general, I have sort of the unpopular opinion of, in general, Mod 16 is the right direction. But the current execution of it and the current state of it is not good. And the reason I think it's going in the right direction is because obviously there was power creep and people were running dungeons in like 10 minutes or less. It became a contest of who could run the dungeon the fastest. And because the dungeons took such less time, they had to basically dumb down the rewards. Like, you wouldn't get anything good, otherwise everyone would have everything really quickly.
Yeah, or make them endless grinds that you had to run a dungeon 500 times to get something. It's just stupid.
We'll get to that. I mean, if you're gonna make me run a dungeon longer, you're gonna give me something more than a fucking parallel, or I'm not gonna run it.
Right. I feel like the rewards aren't updated yet because, as I was gonna say, I love the idea that dungeons are gonna take longer because I personally didn't like the Speedy Gonzalez way that everyone ran dungeons. I like being able to spend a little bit, not a significant amount of time in a dungeon, but more than what we have been spending there. Like, I'd be okay with the fastest dungeon run being like 20 minutes or something like that, and average around 30 minutes.
Exactly. Like, just to give you my point of view, like, I agree with what you guys are saying. Like, they gave us the ability and the buffs with all the the power creep, all that stuff, to be able to phase things in 5 seconds. I don't agree with that. Like, I agree with you on that. Like, I don't care about one phasing. I want it to be a fluid game. And what I see from right now up till now on preview, I spent 3 days on preview and then I was sick of it. I was done because it's unpolished, it's unfinished, and it's broken. What my problem is with the new mod is not the changes they're doing per se themselves. Like, okay, it's a good thing. Change is good. It's inevitable. It's how a game moves forward. But for me to wait 30 seconds to use an encounter, that is not fun. So I just want to know why they removed recovery in the manner that they did. They could have did it so much differently. I understand the dailies taking 30 seconds. That's fine. They should be the most powerful ability you have. That's fine. But what 30-second encounters? Isn't it what makes Neverwinter fun? The fluidity of our rotations, being able to combat, because there's no rotations now. Like, if you've all been on preview. Do you feel like you're doing a rotation, or do you feel
There
like
is
you're
no
using the
rotation.
next available encounter? That's how it feels.
You basically just use all the buttons and then try and kill things with at-wills until your encounters are back.
Just roll back what you said. Sorry to interrupt you, buddy. Remember, just one point. They had what did they say? They're working on this for over a year, something like. This is the best you can come up with. This Mickey Mouse bullshit. Come on, man. Really?
Yeah, but granted, that's up until now. Like we could
Fair enough.
We're saying our opinion till now, but in the end, I would be happy to make a video apologizing for all the negative stuff I've said. Like,
It's not negative. It's like I said, it's constructive. Like constructive criticism. Like I said, I told you like 10 minutes ago. You're not bashing mindlessly. You actually tried this bullshit. You have people not even try it and just talking smack, which is fine. It's their choice. I'm not going to pass judgment on anybody. But
let me ask something really simple, and I'm gonna ask you guys because you guys, I didn't have the luxury or the privilege to be one of the beta testers, but you guys were. You signed an NDA, obviously. You weren't allowed to disclose any information to anybody through any medium. It could have been Facebook. You weren't allowed, or else you could face charges, like literally legal charges, if I'm correct. So now that you can speak of it, when you were there, was your opinions taken into account Like, did you guys suggest changes which they didn't implement, or were you just there to test the bugs and glitches? That's what I want to know.
Kind of both, I would say.
Yeah, they did not take our suggestions into account, and we were there to test bugs, indeed.
I would
Both.
say that some people's suggestions were taken into account, but other people's it seems like they kind of skipped over more than others.
But what they did was just class balance. They didn't implement big changes that we suggested. I like the boons change that I touched upon.
That's
They
true.
didn't do anything with that. They just dismissed it as no, too open, too flexible, not gonna do it.
I think,
So
they took that bare bone and just they try to flush out most of the bugs, and I don't think they actually purposely avoid some what Sharp Edge were doing and Viral and all those and Rainer and everybody else. Like, I don't think they're purposely. Maybe some of them were purposely avoided, but not all of them. I think it was okay. I mean,
I
it
think
was
the
okay.
problem is also to put this into perspective. I think the changes that we proposed were also quite a bit of work for them. I believe they were, as
Yeah,
they really have been working on this for a year or maybe even 2 years. Making a change like that, I don't know. Maybe it will take them months or something. But if it does take them months and the suggestion is good, then take that time.
take
I
more
think
time. I
for
don't
the
know.
the
Go on.
playtesting group to have been the most effective, that we should have been more involved since closer to the beginning. Like not obviously because that was a year ago, but earlier on in the development process, so that we could have maybe worked with them more closely on certain aspects, and maybe they wouldn't have had the suggestions of making these huge changes, because we would have maybe worked out something more reasonable earlier on, and they would have had more time and stuff to do something like that.
Fair enough. I
You
personally think
guys
there's.
also,
Yeah,
sorry,
they
you
didn't
guys,
want things to leak. That's what I don't think they wanted. Like,
That's true,
yes,
but and people leaked
yeah,
anyways.
fair enough. But like in like early stages, like when the game was like half a year ago, I'm talking about 8 months or a year when they started. I don't think. Yeah, maybe they should. I agree. I agree. Go on,
Yeah,
Tosh.
five weeks was not enough. That's for sure.
No, I will say though
exactly.
that there was a huge difference between the first build that we saw and the last one that we saw.
Yeah, massive. If people, I freaked the fuck out. If people saw that,
My
they think
opinion
this
was
is the.
way more negative whenever we first saw the first build compared to what it is now.
Yeah.
So it has made progress, basically. But do you guys feel like the classes have lost their identity?
I feel
Well,
like
For
go
the
on.
ranger, to go back to the recovery problem, I don't really have that problem with my ranger, to be honest. I feel like I can still be the trapper that I used to be, trapper combat hybrid I call it now. I'm just spamming encounters left and right. I'm not really waiting for encounters to come up for a long time. Maybe I do a at will every once and again, but I don't really see a big difference. Maybe I'm doing something weird, but
No, you're not.
Ranger
I'm
has
gonna,
those
I'm gonna,
feats
I'm
though.
gonna say as a barbarian. Sorry, Rachel.
Oh, you're
I'm gonna say
fine.
no. I'm just gonna jump in because I'm whacking my encounters to reset my cooldown so I can do a higher magnitude hit. It's ridiculous. We can't even discuss about any kind of rotation here. This is a new fucking video game.
I think the classes they lost their identity in the sense that each of the damages is different, each of the tanks is different. I feel like the classes are now more centered, like their identity is their role. Like if you're a tank, you're like there's not I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say.
It's raw. It's one sided. Like, I don't know. I don't like it, but it is how it is. I don't like it.
Well, let me just give you an example. I don't know all the classes because, as you guys know, I only play TR. Like, I'm selfish, lazy, whatever you want to call me. I just play TR. But I run, my girlfriend Braylon runs a DC and an endgame DC, just like Rachel is. Silvery, sorry for saying your real name. Sorry about that.
Oh, I don't
But
care.
I think the DC got the worst of it because their identity has totally changed,
It
right?
is.
Yeah.
oh yes.
So I'd like Silvery and Braylon to give me their point of views on the DC, because I think the DC has had the worst of it because they self exalt. they
They
put
feel
down
useless.
heals.
The
There's no
tanks and the
buffage.
healers changed the most for sure.
Yeah. Give me your opinions on that one, on the DC.
The Arbiter Paragon, I like it. I had a lot more fun back when Forge Masters had a base 2000 magnitude damage. That was fun. But that was ridiculously overpowered. I think for damage wise, their AoE sucks. But for single target, it's pretty okay. And then for the healing related stuff, I didn't do any group content as that because I've been trying to take a break from DC for a while now and focus on my Paladin, but a lot of people have been saying that they're just not happy with how healing works and how you can't generate divinity as easily in the Devout Paragon.
True. Braylon, you have anything to say?
I think they killed the class. I think it's not going to be used in the end game meta build, group builds anymore, and it's useless.
Yeah, because what I've noticed when I ran dungeons with Sharp Edge and Lightbringer, whatever, you don't even need a DC. That's the I literally don't die. Like I don't even need heals to stay alive. The way it is now. I don't know if they're
Yeah,
gonna change
and
that.
how are the entire, so many people are feeling like shit now because of that. Not to mention wasted years and money invested. Like that's another point. But I honestly, I'm just gonna jump. I don't play this. I don't have a fucking clue, but I know what they do. When I saw what they did to them on a closed beta, I felt so bad for so many people. I did. I really honestly did. Not for my class. I don't give a fuck because I just choose not to stress about this. You know. The reason I'm playing this game is to have is like social aspect too. There is a social aspect, fuck, and get fight mechanic, And now they took that away, so But that's me. That's my personal. I'm just saying, in my personal opinion, I felt bad for all these people that invested so much time and energy and money.
What
We
What do you
feel
think?
bad too.
What do you
We
think
feel
is the
bad too.
direction they're going into with there's no time gate in the new campaign, am I right?
No, no.
Right.
So are they trying to make it like more new player friendly, faster to level up, faster to gear up? Like, what do you think that's the direction they're going into with this new, easier? Because everything's dumbed down right now, basically.
Rainer?
Well, in the first couple of weeks, it was pretty hard to get to level 80 actually. So back then I thought, okay, you really have to gear up before you can start going to 80. But recently I tried it again and it was a lot easier for some reason. So yeah, I think it's just gonna be a lot easier now. As for the DC, I just want to touch upon that for a second. I also play DC, and what they basically did, DC was never a healer or a DPS class. DC was a support class, a utility class, and actually this was also proposed to add a fourth role of support, and this was also not accepted, of course. Otherwise, we would have had that. And I kind of understand that we don't have utility anymore support because that was the main issue, the buffing and debuffing. But yeah, that's the main reason why DC is not what it used to be. That it is the problem that they removed, actually.
I was excited when I heard about the new mod changes with DC being a pure healer. I was like, okay, this is what I used to do in gaming. This will be fun to get back to. But they completely made it useless. Like any other job class can heal, which is fine, for variety. But they, completely obliterated the DC class completely to be not needed at all now.
So yeah,
And
so basically, do
what?
you guys think it's like a dumbed down version of Neverwinter, make it easier to grab new players?
Well,
And
isn't it like obvious? It's a financial move. I mean, it's for me it is.
do you
Sorry to say.
also think? Do you
Then I
also?
went all my money I put into the game over all this time
Yeah,
on my
but let me
DC.
just say something. Let me just say something. Like the ability scores, right? You guys have all seen the changes to the ability scores, right?
Yeah,
Doesn't it
Yeah.
seem like pushing us towards Dragonborn? Because that's what it seems like to me.
because it's best now to have a dragonborn.
And Dragonborn,
Especially-
they're both paid. Whether you get the normal Dragonborn or the metallic, you have to buy it through Zen. Am I right?
Yeah, metallic is expensive.
Rainer, can you tell me a
You
little bit
can.
about the ability scores? Because you had a
Oh
video.
God.
What do you think?
Yeah. I had a video about that. Well, for the Dragonborn, is it pay to win? Well, you can earn it, of course, with AD. Everything can be earned. Is it absolutely necessary to be Dragonborn? I don't think so. The game is a lot easier than it used to be. I think people are still soloing stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe mostly because stuff is also broken. As for the ability scores, well, yeah, I touched upon that, and a couple of times actually. I also had some contact with the devs to try to get an answer on this, but I don't get an answer. I really don't understand why. Why, that in the first place, having base attributes for every class, that's fine for me. To have the HR have 16 strength and 16 dex, whatever, that's just the basics. That's the starting point. But why are they mixing up the what the attributes mean? I don't understand why the damage boost for the ranger is gone to strength now. That doesn't make any sense in any way. And not in the D&D sense. It doesn't make the game less broken, or I don't understand what their reasoning there is. So I just have one big why question in my head.
Yeah,
I don't
because
understand.
when I watched your video, I sent you were hiding it, but I sensed your frustration with the ability scores more than anything else. And I have that same thing in my head, like why? Like
Yeah,
especially
most
like
things you can reason. Most things you can fathom. Okay, they're doing this because of this, or because of this. You can most things you can find a reason. Some things are also communicated, but the attributes there's nothing. I don't have any idea.
Well, not just that. We didn't get explanation why is this overall good for the game. They keep repeating it's good, it's good, it's gonna be good, but nobody came out and said, hey, this. Not just the attributes overall.
yeah, and there's one thing I noticed. Sorry for interrupting.
No problem.
One of the classes or two of them do projectile damage. Am I right?
Missile,
Right.
yeah, okay, ranged,
Do we
right?
have a projectile ability?
Well, yeah, the C-dubs, right?
No. I mean, in the
There's no
role.
ability score for it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's what's confusing me.
Oh,
So what happens
Oh,
to them?
Jesus.
Since they're projectile damage, where do they fall into? Do they fall into magic boost damage or ST? You see what I'm
Probably
saying?
magical boost, yeah, probably. But I can just guess because nobody told us anything. Like I said, very few information is being outed. You know.
well,
Exactly.
And if
this
you,
this
All
was
right.
probably tested by Sharp, but I
yeah,
don't know myself. If I
probably
haven't
referring to
checked,
magical damage boost, right?
not sure.
It's an intelligence that's what's giving magical damage boost. But I don't know about that's the only like what you
That would be even weirder if you're a ranger archery. You do ranged
ranged. Yeah,
skills. It would be very weird if you have to spec int now on a ranger.
it
That would
would be
make
extremely
totally
weird.
no sense at all.
And we're locked because we can't roll. That's it. So yeah,
So,
that's
so
really
but
fucked.
basically, back to the main question: do you guys think that they're focusing more on the new players or not caring about endgame? What do you think their goal is in general with this new mod?
Silence.
But I'm not gonna fucking no. I told you guys it's a business decision, and I'm standing behind that.
Well,
You know.
I'll tell you what I
I
think.
I agree with
Nobody's
that.
saying anything. I'll just say something real quick, and then you guys can jump in. I
All right.
think as a company, uh, they're doing the right thing. If I had a company, I want new customers, right? Everybody does.
Exactly.
But I think they're dismissing the end game players, not taking into account the end game players at all, and just doing what's best for new. Let's get new players in here. Let's give them acquisitions, which is a really easy mod to get through. And
Yeah.
it takes you literally 15 level mobs. What is it? Rank 50, level 15 mobs. Just melt through them so they can get their boons, get everything ready. The Inquisitions for me was the dumbest mod that ever came out.
Yeah. I don't
I
consider
hate
I
that one.
hated that mod.
hated that one. But
Like
look,
for
I'm
Masterworks,
not.
it was fine.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I don't blame them because they want best for them. You know, just don't toss aside the old players or anybody. It's really hard then in a sense that it's hard to please everybody, right? It's an MMO, right? And it's in life in general, especially in this fucking game. And now we're gonna have more people feeling excluded or like the DC problem, and it's not just a DC problem. We got other classes are in problem, and it's gonna make a wider gap, I guess, which is always, I think, bad. You know, it's just bad when people feel excluded or, you know, divided, and it's gonna cause some, you know, dividing in the community. It's bad, but I don't blame them for, you know, trying to make some buck. They have to eat too. You know. But just don't
Exactly.
sit there. Just don't sit there and tell me, hey, this is the best for you guys. I mean, come on. If I were them, I would put a poll. We have to do our own polls, really. I have to mention this, buddy. I'm sorry.
You can mention it. Go ahead.
Because Julia said, hey, some 90% people are happy. We're going to show you otherwise now in 5 days.
Well,
You know,
well,
you know.
yeah, but
And okay,
go ahead. Go ahead. But
okay, I'm just going to wrap it up. Look, so because don't sit there and tell us, hey, this is the best. We're doing this best for you, because it's obviously, you know, just be honest with us. Say it how it is. You know, don't expect us, you know, to suck ass. You suck ass, you're gonna choke on shit eventually. Because, but yeah, I mean, come on, man. Yeah, I love this fucking game. I don't, you know that, man. You guys know that also. But
we all do. That's why we're here,
yeah,
right?
and you
That's why
know,
we do what we do. That's
just as
why
long as
Silvery makes videos. She doesn't do it because she just wants to do it.
no,
Give me a second. I got a notification for a follow. I should have turned that off.
no, it's
All right.
okay.
Thanks for the follow. Whatever. Like that's why we do this. Like I watch all of your videos systematically. Whenever you guys upload a video, they even get uploaded to my own personal Discord for people to see, and on my alliance, all your videos. So you guys are here to help people. You're not in it just for yourself. You love the
No,
game and you
man.
want it to progress. And when you see something going wrong, you want to be able to have a voice. And your only voice and your only source or area or medium to express your voice is YouTube or streaming. Some of us YouTube, some of us stream, whatever.
Yeah,
But if it's not being heard, isn't that annoying? Like to me,
yeah,
it's
it is.
annoying.
It
Yeah.
is. Don't push it under the carpet. The obvious fraud. I think the community manager should deal with this shit. You know, it's your job. You know,
Yes,
I
yes.
don't have anything against them, because I personally think they're like first line that everybody bash on them, and the devs and the CMs, and I'm not justifying their action in one way or another, okay? Or, you know, if you know what I mean. But you know, people who are deciding this kind of stuff, this kind of major overhaul, we got a new video game here. It does look the same, but this is a new game. Come on, man. So these guys are, we're not in contact with them, so this, like, you know, it should be. I'm just trying to find some balance, so it's constructive, like this kind of podcast you're doing and in the videos. And you know, at the end of the day, if you know, I can't see the future. You can't tell me, hey, in 2 to 5 months it's gonna be better. I can't see the future, but I can fucking remember the past really good, because I'm playing this more than 6 years now, and this company has like a pattern how they do things. So when I saw what they did, I know it's not gonna be, you know, reversed. There is no coming back from this. They may choose not to, you know, change the paths, but the bone structure of this shit, that was it. That's it. Somebody decided that, and also these people have a deadline, and this stretching on a preview, they need to really stretch this out, so we can have a finished product. If they fuck up this launch, they're done.
So
They're done.
just because you said that, I'm just going to bring something up real quick. Do
All
you
right.
feel that they're rushing into this, or should they take like 4 months
No,
to drop this month?
they're taking their time. That's my opinion now, and I'm gonna just say that really what Astrolog is doing on the forums is fucking awesome. I do see that in a sense it's like a little panic, because it's so many things and they got their jobs to do, and the deadlines, of course. But maybe there's some reasoning with the people in the suits who are deciding those deadlines, yeah, in the company. Maybe, you know, maybe they reason we can't just, because I'm telling you, man, if they release this with this amount of bugs and unbalanced, they're done for. And I don't
Well,
want to see
yeah.
that happen, because I really like this game. You know, I really enjoy it. And that's
Silvery, what do you think? Do you think
yeah.
they should drop this in a month, 2 months, 3 months? Like, what do you honestly think?
What do I honestly think? I think they should wait quite a while before dropping it. Because if they try to rush and fix everything, it's just going to turn out even worse than it is now. Like, they might fix some of the most important bugs, but they're going to break other things, and then that they maybe probably won't notice. And it'll just be a big mess if they don't wait. I would say minimum 2 months from now drop.
What do you think, Rainer?
Well, I'm not gonna say a time actually. I'm just gonna say they have to release it when it's okay, when they deliver quality. And maybe it's in a month if they're all of a sudden the developers are faultless and they don't create any new bugs and they fix everything super quick. But they have to deliver it when it's quality.
Exactly. But let me say something since you said that. We're talking about Cryptic, right? We're talking about the
Yeah.
same people. All right. So do you think, honestly, that they'll have anything fixed 100% by the time they drop this? I don't think so. Sorry to be the negative person here, but there's no way in hell Cryptic, with their manpower and their history, is going to drop this mod flawless. This mod is going to drop, and you remember my words. Even if they fix the classes, whatever, we're going to find 1,000 glitches, 1,000
Fair
bugs,
enough. I
and
agree
people are going
because
to exploit,
yeah,
and then there's going to be ban waves again if they don't polish this before they drop it. If it was up to
that
me,
that
I'd drop this in a year, but they have a
that's why they
contract.
have to be really careful with this. That's what I'm saying. What I say they're done for, it's gonna just create, like you said, the cascade. It's gonna create an effect with just gonna it's gonna be a fucking shitstorm. Come on, man. Because we know how they did stuff in the past, and that's why we were afraid because man, so we can forget those things. But now they're kind of on a turnover, and they really need to make this work. And no, everybody won't be happy, and I agree with what I mean, with all everything. We're not gonna even say 20% of everything that's so messed up, but they really need to. Regarding the going this on live, I agree with Rachel actually, and with you, in with Rainer, I do. They really need to be careful. They really need to like just for 16th mod to make it like it's not gonna be perfect, but let's try to minimize that bugs, that the exploits later, and then take it out on
Yeah,
everything.
but listen, it always ends up that it's us end gamers, right? People like
Yeah,
Tremolix, Janamunmis, Sharp Edge, RGC, you, me, Silver, Rainer, that figure out all the bugs after it's dropped, and then we let them know, and then 2 months later they fix something. You know
Well,
what I'm
I
saying?
already let
Why is it
them
up
know a
to
lot of
us?
bugs
well,
before this. But
Exactly.
yeah.
Did they fix them? I don't know. I don't know if they have or not, but I'm just getting to the point where it ends up dropping because they have a deadline, and
Well,
there's so many issues with it. And then we, as the community players, which should be just enjoying the game instead of searching for bugs, are the ones that tell them what the fuck's wrong with the game. That's how
well,
it ends up every
that's
single
what
time.
I was saying. They're underpowered. I think they really didn't. They don't have manpower for this. You know, I'm not. It's not like I'm justifying them. I'm just saying. They really need to be careful and to approach this really professionally. I mean, come on.
Yeah, because the potential of this game to be one of the best MMO is huge. Do you guys agree?
Yeah,
Like the potential of this game is ginormous, and
it
it's
is.
just dying. It's just
It is.
dying
It's dying.
slowly. I'm not saying Mod 16 is killing it, and I'm not going to say Mod 16 will kill it. It might. Most of you know my point of view.
If they don't deliver how it's supposed to be delivered, if they release a mess, oh my god, I'll be here. But come on, man, I'm not gonna quit the game. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not gonna just gonna sit. I'm just that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna wait. If it takes 4 months, 2 months, doesn't matter. Let's see what they're gonna deliver, and then you know, fire up.
Yeah, like something else. Like the Neverwinter development team seems to be more accessible and informative than ever before. I think you guys can agree with that.
They have to
Yeah.
be.
But with the upcoming Mod 16, the Undermountain expansion, of course, do you feel that that has helped or hurt the community's viewpoints about?
Well, it's helping, obviously. I
Yeah, I
mean,
think
yeah,
it's
obviously.
helping.
it's really helping, and I think they realize what's at stake. They're not stupid. And that's why there's so much communication.
Yeah, but if that's the case, then why is more than 70%, according to our polls, because it's a society, not everybody agrees, whatever. Why do you think 70% of the people more or less are unhappy? If it's
I can't say that because like I told you guys before we start, I have a different approach to the game now. I don't want to. When I press that login button, I don't want to be stressed out. I understand people. Everybody has their own opinion, and I understand that. Is it the time? Is it the money, the energy, the social relationship are going to fuck? Some people are really gonna quit. So you got friends leaving. People
well,
are
I have
feeling
people that have already quit, and I
exactly.
tell them, relax. I have subs and followers on my YouTube that tell me, I've already stopped. I go, dude, don't relax. I know it's not looking good right now with everything, but we keep in mind it's on preview.
Yeah.
And I have faith, even though I don't believe in Cryptic, and they know that. That's why they probably dislike me a little bit. But I still hope for the best. I
We
expect the
have
worst,
some
hope for the
hope.
best.
Yeah,
So
hope. You gotta hope if you like the game, you know. But
Mm.
you know what? What I think, those people who are deciding about this thing kind of stuff, their perspective of this game and ours is totally like different, like black and white. It can't even be compared, you know. And that's why I'm saying what developers are doing now with those communication and everything. It's good. That's a good sign. So you know, we'll see
I
how
just
it
wish
goes.
that they had done this sort of communication, like started that a long time ago, like many mods ago. From the very beginning, started this kind of community interaction because I think the game would be in a better place.
Yeah,
definitely, I totally agree with you,
definitely.
Silvery. Yeah, totally,
What
totally
What
agree.
do you think, Reiner, bro?
I already said this in my I think it was interview months ago that they needed more communication. So yeah, definitely agree with that.
And not just nodding the head. Hey, yeah, we read your post, but we're not gonna do shit about it. Actually, acting on it, you know.
Yeah,
But
the
plus,
thing is, communication is one thing, and to talk with people, give them understanding why you do stuff is very good. But
Yeah.
still, people typically don't like change.
No.
Most people don't like change, and I think that's why people are not happy with this mod because this is a huge change, and you will always have people complain about this. The mod is just too big, in my
It
opinion.
is.
a big
It is
It
too
undertaking.
big.
and it
They
is
should have
beautiful.
released
It's
this
really
in two
beautiful.
parts. They
Yeah,
should
yeah,
have
we don't get.
released it in two parts. Do the revolution first. Make the changes to the combat system. Make the changes to the enchantments and the stats and stuff like that. Do that first, and then in the next mod, when everyone is familiar with the new system, then do the level up, cap upgrade, so people can uh, process this in two steps instead of one.
Yeah,
This is just too
it's too
much.
much. It is. I agree. I agree. I actually think Kali said
It's,
well said, bro.
it's
They
also
should.
impossible to balance like this. You cannot balance if you do a level cap increase and a system change. What do you compare it with? You cannot compare it with mod 15. You need a reference.
Yeah, it's hard to compare this new mod because it's a huge overhaul. It's not the same game anymore. Like, just to bring an example, like the feats and the boons. Do you think that was a good thing they did, or did they have any impact? Because I've saw Integrity and some other people actually run solo dungeons in mod 16 using no feats and no boons, and they
Yeah,
had
that
no problem.
yeah that can be done actually. You're just
So
using
what's the
your
point?
pets.
What's
I
the
don't
point?
know. I don't know. Rainer is the technical. He can maybe actually. Yeah, no, I'm not joking. He can maybe say something about that.
Oh, I don't know if they use broken stuff, but it's also class dependent. For the ranger, feats definitely have an impact. For boons, yeah, that story is a different one, of course. Boons, I don't understand what they did with boons, but they don't have any impact along boons.
Well, I don't even understand half of the paragons that they did, because I understand most classes have a DPS one and a healing one, or a DPS one and
Or
a
attack.
tanking one, or whatever. But the DPS classes have a DPS one and a DPS one. Why?
Yeah,
Why do
I
you
don't
need
know.
two DPS
It's
classes?
it's choice. It's choice. It's basically for the ranger you have the close combat, trapper combat, or archery. You can choose,
Yeah,
That
but
and
makes
okay,
it
sense
definitely
though.
makes a difference.
Makes sense though because Ranger has two sets of encounter powers, close range and long range, whereas the other DPS classes like Barbarian and Rogue they don't have that. So, well, I guess Barbarian has a tank Paragon now, so disregard that one. But for Rogue at least, they don't. Like, I don't know. It's weird the double DPS Paragon
It
yeah,
is
yeah,
and
weird.
Wizard
Everything is
Wizard
so
too.
weird.
Wizard two.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first thing that stood out to me as a TR because obviously that's all I play. So as soon as I saw the two DPS paragons, I'm like, okay, so what are they trying to do? My first thought was like, okay, they want one path for mobs, let's say, to do more damage AoE related stuff, and the other one's more single target. But why did you take the single target stuff from Assassin and take it to Whisper Knife if Assassin's the single target and Whisper Knife is the AoE one? Like it just made no sense what direction they're going in with the DPS classes. The other classes, I get it. I understand. Just really
They,
weird.
only they can answer that. Hence the silence, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just so weird. Like Brelin is right about the stances for the AHR and TR. That's all fine, but
It's not just the stances for the ranger. The ranger really, if you take I think that it's the hunter for the ranged. Um, if you take hunter, you really get also ranged abilities that are focused really on the ranged stance of the ability. So and also the feats are focused on the ranged part. So it is really a difference in the ranger part. I think the ranger is in a pretty good situation compared to other classes. If I hear you guys, I must admit I also have been a little bit lazy with the other classes, so I cannot say much about them. But for me, combat wise, the ranger is fine, and that's really weird to hear for you guys, I think.
well,
Well, they did say that Ranger is a bit over-tuned, I think is the word they used at the moment, so what I
Well,
got from that
that's
is that it
damage
might be
output.
nerfed.
That's damage output, but the
Right.
combat itself is also fine.
Yeah, because for me now, like in the new mod, what like if I was gonna start today as an 18K player that stopped the game for a year, I'd go and look at the Paragon paths, and because I know recovery's been removed, my decision on what Paragon would be which Paragon path gives me the most cooldowns, right?
right.
Since they're 30 seconds and 40 seconds long, I would pick a Paragon path that gives me more AP gain. So I think the removal of recovery was a bad move in the way they did it. It was a good thing as long as they did it correctly. Give us some more tools to get more AP.
Good idea, badly implemented. It's simpler.
Whenever I first saw that they were removing recovery in their like initial message to us, I was like, okay, that's not that bad because the base cooldowns aren't terrible. But then on top of removing recover, they also like doubled the cooldowns at least, and that was what didn't make much sense to me because it would have been fine if they didn't increase the cooldowns.
Yeah.
It's the truth. I understand. I realize power creep is out of control, and this is their answer to everything. What we got now, and what we're gonna be testing, and eventually playing. Who doesn't quit? Yeah. Um,
I don't know if you guys also, and girls of course, play D&D tabletop, the version. For me, I have played D&D 4E, which this game is loosely based on, and being able to use encounters all the time is really odd, and also dailies every couple of seconds is just really weird, because dailies are meant to be done once per day. That's what they're called, the dailies. And
Yeah.
encounters, you should use them once per encounter. And in mod 15 it was like that, especially for mob groups, because one encounter and everything was dead. But you shouldn't be able to spam encounters as if they were at wills. It's just odd.
they gave us that, and I
They gave
mean,
us that, yeah.
they
But
gave us
it's
that.
odd.
They made us get used to that, and that hence this this shock for most of the people.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
they gave us that. They got us used to that play style, that fluidity, which is now totally gone. We'll see how it is going to turn up. I'm just talking about what I can see now. It's not that bad, but eventually, just whacking the boss for a long time is just, come on,
Yeah,
man.
for me, the combat is more about positioning now, because in the past it didn't matter where you positioned. You just stayed in the red and you just tanked everything because you had lifesteal for days, and now you really have to move around the enemies and dodge the red zones, and
Gain combat
the,
advantage.
the,
I mean,
the difficulty is more in that area now, I think.
which is fine. That's actually not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Not a bad.
Well,
That's a good thing.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you one thing that really bothered me. I was really excited about this mod before it dropped, and I was really, really excited the very first day it dropped. Like I was the most positive person about it. But what disappointed me is after all this time, after an undermountain that has 5 underlying areas with it, you get one damn one, not two, not three, one.
Yeah.
I do not fucking like that. What do you guys think? You think they should have put another two at least? Maybe
Maybe. I mean, maybe at least.
one dungeon per year. That's what we're getting almost.
I would have
I am
liked to.
just imagine you're on a console. Sorry, Rachel.
Oh,
I'm
you're
just gonna.
fine.
I have to say this. If they need to give us a 10-man raid skirmish and this mad mage, because I'm already bored of it. I fucking am. We know the mechanics when they fix the last boss tonight sometime, hopefully, if they. But imagine if you're on a console and you're stuck with that that module 15 Mickey Mouse bullshit that it is, and it is. So you got to run all the stuff or the skirmish. So you have to you have to wait all this testing to go through, then go on the live on the PC, and then you gotta wait. I don't even know when they're gonna get it. And if you know if you're on a console and you know you're gonna just be able to run one dungeon, I mean, damn the expeditions. Give us dungeons. It's some new raid, some skirmish, something to do.
Something. Yeah.
It's like before when they in mod 15 gave us all that power, all that like so overpowered people. And what am I supposed to do? I even do that in one video. I said, give us something to kill. What am I running around here with all this power, and and I got nothing else to do. So
Yeah.
imagine if you're on a console, man. I would be so fucking. This would be a bum out for me.
Yeah.
But in general, I think they will add some new stuff. So I'm kind of still
We'll see.
really
We'll see.
positive, yeah, and hoping
We'll see.
for the
Rachel, you
best.
were gonna say something?
Yeah, Rachel, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I would have liked to see like a dungeon for each of the new zones in the campaign because like I feel like that could have gone a lot. It could have worked well with the story, like because the campaign follows a story and having a dungeon at each part of that story could allow you to like actually experience what's going on in the story, and then we would have more dungeons too. So that would be
Be
great.
more.
I
Yeah, be
agree.
more interesting.
I think
It's a lot of
that's what expeditions are about, right? That's a little bit
yeah, but they
what
need
they're
to like
trying.
give better rewards for them. And when you tune the crystals, you know what I mean. When they fix that, also the bosses to be really harder, maybe even some surprise drops. I don't. There's so many potential. Look at all that vast area they gave us. Like she said, okay, expedition support, maybe like a mini dungeons with some special rewards or something you can do once a week. Maybe I don't know. I'm just making it up.
Yeah, but I
Something.
understand what Rainer is saying. The
Yeah.
expeditions is something along those lines, not
I
an
think
actual dungeon.
expeditions is a little bit that they can work upon, and they can improve the rewards there. They can make them better, tune them a bit better because now the zones are randomized. But are they really? I mean, I did like 5 expeditions, and they
I did more.
mostly look the same.
They're randomized, so every time you should
Yeah,
get something different. Okay, there's an end chest. There's 3 bosses, if I'm not mistaken, or 2. I don't know. And you gotta gather all these little crystals on the side or whatever they are.
but
Uh,
it's randomized with just a couple of pieces. That's what I'm trying to say. So
exactly. Yeah, it is.
you will recognize exactly what you're up against. It's not
I
really
was.
random like Diablo 3 or something like
Oh
that.
God, no, no, definitely not. No.
Yeah, but I want to touch on this is a little subject that's always been in my head, but I've never had the chance to actually say it. So I'll just say it now. It's
All
more
right.
generalized towards Neverwinter than Mod 16 itself. But I'm really disappointed in the fact that they bring out a new mod. I'm not talking about 16. I'm talking about all the previous mods. And let's say, for example, what dungeon? Ravenloft, right? And
Yeah.
Ravenloft has a really cool dungeon. I think the first boss is like really cool, but in general, it's a good thing to get new dungeons. But after you've run it a certain amount of times, let's say what is it, 8 or 10 runs to get the one headpiece that you think is good for you, or two pieces, do you have
You're done.
any incentive to run it again? Do you?
No.
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 Nope.
So that's my issue with Neverwinter. Dungeons come and go, and then they're never got. There's no reason to run them anymore. The only one that's worth it now is Cradle, and soon that's going to die out because of the reroll system. Everybody's getting ultimate enchanting stones, and the ultimate enchanting stones are down to 50k. Eventually, nobody's going to run Cradle either.
But
Tom,
they're
there's
going
no
to get
point
a
in running
small
Tom.
boost again, I
Yeah,
think, in price.
yeah,
Yeah.
probably. But the thing is, like, that's my problem with the dungeons. There's no incentive to want to run those dungeons anymore.
Yeah,
So
but
I think the
that's
loot. Go ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead,
No,
buddy.
go on. Go on.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they should be working towards. By slowing down combat, the dungeons should get better rewards, and that in that sense have a reason to run again. If the dungeons give you a much better result, then you have your reason there.
Exactly. That's why I was going to go into the loot system. I was going to say if they if they make the loot system according, like they could have made the dungeons tiered. At each level, you get a different set of rewards. But right now, we were only getting, what was it? An insignia, a black opal, maybe a companion. Something.
Well,
It has to be
let's.
worth somebody to
We're
run
gonna
something.
be honest about. I mean, you remember the old OCN? I mean, we really wanted to run it that many times, but when you have a couple of million drop at the end, which you can roll for back then, you have some incentive to do it and have fun and maybe make some AD out of it. If I want to run this and everything is bound, and it's not a material issue. I'm a masterwork. I don't need shit, but I still like to be rewarded, and that sense of like reward, like what you were talking about, has to exist. You know, look at the Ravenloft. When you get your gear, I was done. I was only helping people that needed gear. I know I can't get anything from it, like really worth it. So at this end of this new dungeon, Mad Mage, maybe something bound on equip, some cool stuff, adjusted up the rewards, you know, bring back that economy. Look at the backlog, man. It's just I don't even
Well,
want to go.
one thing I'm looking forward to, and this is a bit off subject, I really want the strongholds to be upgraded. I don't know if you
Me
guys
too.
agree.
Yeah, well, it's time. It's time.
Raylan, especially since he's a guild leader too, like she really wants this to be, like get strongholds, get the encounters in there to be more difficult, some
Something
more
interesting, yeah.
content, something interesting,
Content,
right?
just content, just
I
something
think like a mini dungeon in the strongholds would be great, or like
like a cave or
a
something.
25-man fight. Yeah, something to get your
Yeah.
alliance together. Like, yeah, we have Dragonflight, but that's obsolete at this point. So give us something new in the strong.
Yeah, it was fun while it lasted, though.
They gave us Marauders relatively recently, but I
Oh,
understand that you want something extra there.
you mean the Marauders where you only go to level 5 because everything else is crap?
Exactly.
You mean
That's
that
so
Marauders?
funny.
Yeah, we did get Marauders.
Yeah.
Sorry for the
I don't
sarcasm,
understand
but
why
that
you.
was funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Why don't they increase the rewards if you
Going up.
protect more sites and go further, higher levels? Yeah, that's also a very weird decision there.
Yeah, like seriously, if you're gonna go up a level, and if you guys been up to level 30 or above, the mobs from Marauders get extreme like resistance to damage, like whatever it is that they get, and they're almost unkillable at a certain point. If I'm gonna go all the way up there and spend 1 hour through the whole lag, because if you have 20 people in Marauders, we all know what the lag is like there. It's fucking insane. At least give me some rewards that are useful to my guild or to guilds in my alliance that I can, put in there, I guess, in the coffer.
Yeah, that sense of reward and content to do additional content, it's just really important.
Yeah,
Something to
because
do.
the only time I go to Stronghold is to put stuff in the coffer. I don't even do influence anymore because it's not even needed. But we sometimes do it for other guilds and stuff.
And
It
remember the
depends, whatever.
Dragonfly
And
back
to
in the days.
tent. That's it.
All those people come together, a bunch of us on all team speaks. We're doing that stupid Dragonflight, but at least we're doing something together. And it's good for good of the stronghold. Like
I think
it's good.
also,
Yeah. Go on.
sorry.
No, go on.
Go ahead, sweetheart.
Go
I
ahead.
think
Go ahead.
also like the heroics that you do run in the stronghold for your influence. My kid's screaming butthead.
No problem.
Um, if you actually got a reward out of those in addition to the influence. So like if they made it, even if it was refinement or something, so people that are Guild Hall 20 run them and give their influence to smaller guilds, but also get a reward out of it instead of just wasting their own time.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
definitely.
There's so much they can do. There's so much they can do. All right, guys. So this is getting to be a quite long
Yeah,
podcast. We could wrap it up
we stretched it
with
a little bit, but
one
we
last
it's
thing.
still, yeah,
let
so
me
many
just
stuff to
say
say.
let me just say something for you real quick. So
Go
in
on.
general, each one of you, if you'd like to say, anything about this new mod in general before we wrap up, and we can close this off.
You're cutting off.
Did you hear me?
Repeat.
I said if anybody wants to say anything like around this whole conversation, give me a second. I
All
just
right.
got a notification. Sorry,
It's
I should
okay,
have
bro.
shut those off. So what do you guys think of this mod in a few words?
Okay, I'll go. I like it. I like the new map. I like the potential. I do like it. I already said what I don't like. But as I said, I'm going to give them benefit of the doubt when to finish this, as long as it takes, not to just mess up, because it's really important. But as the new module content, I think it needs a new little maybe skirmish, and to expeditions like Reiner said, they're like dungeons, and maybe a 10-man raid to kill Hollister or something like that. And of course, the last dungeon and new areas are really pretty, but that's not going to cut it. They really need to do a lot of work, and I'm really hoping for the best. And I really do. I like the idea that it's badly implemented for now, and I'm hoping it's going to change. That's
Thank
all I
you,
can
guys.
say.
Thank you, Unforgiven. Rachel, what do you think?
In general, I like the new mod. I love the campaign. I love that it's not time gated like everything that we've had for the past how many years. Um, but I think they have a lot of work to do. Like Unforgiven said, they really need to focus on fixing the problems and not rushing through everything and taking their time and make sure that the product that they produce is good and that's actually going to interest the community, because like obviously right now everyone's like, oh, I hate this. So they need to turn that around somehow by fixing things, balancing things, and hopefully it all goes well.
Okay, Rainer, what do you think, buddy?
For me, the direction of the mod is okay. It's good if they pull through. They do what they say they're going to do, which we don't know yet. But it's just unfinished, and they need to finish it.
Exactly. All right, my end of it is I think it's a good thing. I like the new mod, but there's a lot of things I dislike, which is a lot of things. Like it's just so broken right now that I can't even give you an opinion until it's fully patched and we get the finished and polished version. But I am hopeful. I got to give props where props is due. The graphics is insanely beautiful. I've been to every zone. I actually was making a video. I haven't finished it yet. Running through every zone just to show how beautiful it is, because
I
it is
love the
beautiful.
art. It is so pretty.
It is
Yeah, you
very. That's the
definitely do
first.
that.
Yeah. Me and Braylon were. That's the first thing we noticed when we got into preview. Right. We went in there and we're like, oh my god, like that Willowwood is my favorite. I don't know about you guys, but Willowwood is fucking
Yeah, I was
gorgeous.
camping
Willowwood
there for
and
a while.
Terminus are my favorite.
Yeah,
Willow and Terminus. Yeah. So like the graphics work, we got to give those designers props. They did their thing. So if they can like combine the two combat system, all the bugs, and make it like coexist and work properly, the new mod will be fantastic. So I'll save my last opinion for when it drops on live. Until then,
Yeah.
we can just hope for the best.
Also, people go on our channel. It's just on YouTube, and you can vote on a pool. So yeah.
Vote on a pool.
I would
Your
love a
pool
pool.
is better than mine. Your
Fuck
pool
you, man.
is better than mine.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up because they're very busy. I know Rainer is in Unforgiven or really late
No,
for you guys.
I
What time?
just wanna take a nap, man. You know me.
All right, I'd like to thank them all personally. Thank you, Silvery. Very kind
You're
of you to join.
Mhm.
Thank you, Rainer, for taking the time, and thank you, Unforgiven. This
Thanks
is
for
gonna be
having us.
uploaded on all our YouTube channels. You can feel free to go and have a look at them if you want to touch back on something we said. There'll be another podcast coming Friday. So far, I've only gotten one person to join. That's Sully the Scourge. I will try to get me and somebody else. And yeah, I would personally like to thank you all. You guys were amazing. Thank you.
Thanks for
Thank you.
gathering us. It was really
Thanks.
cool, man. Thank you. Thank
I
you,
like
girls.
the
you, guys.
idea of these podcasts. It's pretty cool.
And thank you, everybody. Bye, guys, on the Twitch. And
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, guys. I'm looking forward to your videos, so I'm going to watch them.
yeah.